One of the reasons the Presbytery exists is that we can engage in mission that no one church can do alone.
It is a chance to rethink what it means to be the church in the 21st century.
We are not called to just stay inside our congregations. Our call is to preach the gospel to all of the folks.
We want to serve Tampa Bay.
It's called Love Across the Bay, and it is literally your Tampa Bay Presbytery in action. Hello everyone, I'm Gail Searens. You have been a vital part of extending God's love to tens of thousands of people you may never personally meet. We'd like to introduce some of them to you as they share their stories, life-changing results of your commitment. Your faithfulness began early.
When people drive down the driveway of Cedar Kirk, they feel like they're coming to someplace totally different.
Ready to go? Yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to step down through the blue loop.
Cedar Kirk, a longtime friend in our Presbytery family.
Great time here. Awesome place.
For 30 years, we've seen God's work in lives here through the calm of nature and the comfort of nurture.
You got it.
Presbytery newcomers John and Debbie Bronkema continue to challenge young people, building on a solid foundation laid 3 decades ago.
There's story upon story of how kids have grown in their faith and how they have just come together and have formed incredible friendships.
Hey, why don't you give them a big mucho gusto? Mucho gusto! Right. I'm Evan Jorn. I'm the Executive Director of the Bethel Farm Worker Mission.
Launched over 25 years ago, Bethel is nationally recognized and the lifelink of hope even today to migrant farm workers.
Basically, we consider 3 areas: education, outreach, and worship. We're feeding the poor, we're clothing the naked, and we're preaching good news.
We have books, manuals, videos.
The Presbyterian Resource Center.
Yeah, she said you were interested in getting some resources.
We like to think we're one of the best and most used in the country.
Like a longtime friend, the Resource Center has done an unsurpassed service of supporting the Master's message with meaningful materials.
We try to have the newest and best resources for all ages, from preschool to senior adults.
All right, so I know where to send it and it's on its way. Bye-bye.
But the concept of love across the bay only begins on these long-standing pillars. Love also explains what our future is about. LOVE stands for leadership, outreach, vision, and evangelism. We want to share with you some of the exciting ministries your commitment is generating. First, leadership.
Who likes blind man?
The enthusiasm of our young people is championed by Presbytery newcomer Steve Edwards. He spent a lot of his life working as part of the pit crew at Indy. Now he's generating horsepower through his passion to see teens prepare to lead tomorrow by challenging them to be leaders today.
A youth ministry like this youth ministry saved my life, literally saved my life. And if I have a chance to give back, which I am now doing, then that's the greatest blessing I could ever have. Just take this piece of paper, and I want you to write it on here. Just anything that represents that sin to you. I want you to take that piece of paper, and I want you to nail that piece of paper to this cross. Presbytery Tampa Bay has provided an environment for youth directors that is extremely supportive, with resources, with a network that meets at least once a month of youth directors who can get together, share common ideas, share victories, share defeats, a place to turn with your problem.
For the church today and tomorrow to have the impact of the message about the love of Christ, we must be equipped. Every year, we are energizing and inspiring teachers with one of the most comprehensive Christian education conferences in the region.
I'm going to have you break up into groups.
All to teach the teachers of tomorrow today.
Good morning. Sunday school, our church school, has always been a very big, important part of what we do in the Presbyterian Church.
You know, our story is about
Bible studies all through the week.
God knowing what's on the inside of us.
So people will know what it is that they believe.
The Presbytery will continue to have quality continuing education events and excellent workshops for leaders in congregations of all kinds, provide support for the church professionals in our congregations, and do the kind of one-on-one consulting that we do with congregations based on their needs.
Bye. See you next Sunday. Okay, bye-bye.
There's an old saying, we're not saved to sit, we're saved to serve. The O in our mission stands for outreach, stretching out of our own personal comfort zones to take the message to those who haven't heard.
Hello, how are you doing? Great. For some of these Brazilian people, it's really a new life. So this is the kind of things we do. I mean, going around and knocking on people's doors. This is the Brazilian flag. Sometimes we just come by to those marketplaces here and then we can...
One exciting new outreach is to the growing Brazilian immigration to the Tampa Bay area.
Brazilian people, I mean, sometimes it might be a sticker on the window screen.
Meet one of the people our Presbytery supports.
With a Brazilian flag. So this kind of stuff shows us that there are some Brazilians around.
Valdir Franca is himself a new immigrant from Brazil. He wants to plant a church made up of Brazilian immigrants.
We are going to call New Life Presbyterian Church.
To gather that group, Valdir spends a lot of his day out meeting and greeting in the local neighborhoods.
The most of the Brazilian communities, they live in places like this one, and especially in this one here. So it's not far from the church down there, Chapel in the Pines, so we can easily link up with them here.
Until they've gathered a strong core group, they meet every Wednesday night at Valdir and his wife Silvana's home.
God called myself and my family to do this ministry. Our passion is to help the Brazilian people come to Jesus Christ, especially here in Tampa Bay area.
Meeting practical needs through outreach is one vital way of showing God's love. Some committed people have turned their talents to tutoring students who need help in making the grade. They have rescued a little mission church in Auburndale from near extinction and turned it into a vital link with the people there.
That's how you do it. You're doing a good job. Well, I think it's fantastic, the chance that you have to deal with kids and to watch them grasp that idea and the light bulb comes on. You can see that you really make a difference.
Our program in Auburndale includes tutoring and what we call mentoring. When you walk through the room and I have 15 or 20 adults working one-on-one with students, it's magical. And you can just see that the kids are feeling loved, they're feeling safe and secure, and the adults that are giving to them, it's a connection that is irreplaceable.
It's a church that was looking for a vision and looking for a way to develop and redevelop itself. We had a few educators on the session who were crying out, we need tutors. And so we quietly began to set about to recruit 6 to 9 tutors within our congregation to spend a couple of hours a week at our local schools.
We know from studies that have been done by our denomination is that the places where the Church of Jesus Christ has grown because of 2 things. One is new church development, and the other is because congregations that have been already in existence have revitalized disciples so that people begin to look outward.
You've already begun to see a small part of the vision, the V in Love Across the Bay. But the vision is so large, no single congregation can do it. But we are a presbytery, 77 congregations spread out over 7 counties, 28,000 of us strong. We come from Pinellas, Hillsborough, Pasco, Citrus, Hernando, Polk, and Levy counties. We even have 3 new church developments, a part of the Presbytery's vision. Individually, making the vision a reality is overwhelming, but working together, almost nothing is impossible.
Come on back, come on back.
Newcomers David and Bert Sheeler are focusing on one of them.
It's an exciting day because we're beginning.
North Tampa, where the population has nearly quadrupled in the last decade.
Well, we're moving a bunch of furniture from St. Pete up to our new church in New Tampa.
Their vision is to plant a new church in New Tampa.
In fact, we're starting worship in a couple of weeks, and we're calling it under construction worship just because that's sort of where we are right now. I mean, we're not necessarily building a building, but we're building a church, all right?
New church development is the best way Presbyterians can reach out to the unchurched. We are able to reach more people through new church development than most congregations reach through their continued ministry to their present membership. And so one way the Presbyterians do evangelism well is by gathering new communities of faith together, which is what new church development is all about.
Oh, we got our first chairs coming in.
Absolutely.
It's ready for worship.
It's a start. It's something tangible that we can put our hands on. These chairs are a place for people to sit and worship.
We're going to proclaim the gospel of Jesus Christ in this area by providing a worshiping community, a place for people to gather together to worship God.
We're so thankful to have an ordained minister like David to launch and lead ministry. But the call to reach everyone can't happen alone. That's why the E in Love Across the Bay stands for evangelism, getting congregations, lay leaders involved in evangelizing. Developing lay leaders is one of the highest priorities in the Presbytery to serve the Hispanic population, from just a few miles away to around the world. Our Presbytery is training Hispanic lay leaders to answer that challenge. It is graduation day for these 14 newly trained lay leaders and lay pastors.
I'm an elder in church. Also, I'm a lay pastor to fill in for the pastor whenever he's not in town or he's sick.
Now, 1 in 5 residents of Tampa are Spanish speaking. In the next 5 years, we're expecting that to go to 1 in 4. The Presbytery can help congregations do what the congregations do best and do it in a way that is getting them excited.
It is an exciting time. New ministries in the Bay Area growing new leaders and new congregations, training teachers for today and tomorrow, welcoming strangers in a strange land, and becoming their trusted bridge to a new life in Christ.
Money from Presbyterians all across the country have come into the Presbytery for these exciting new ministries.
It has been an unfolding, practical, visible miracle in action. That's why we can't stop here. Your investment has paid rich dividends. That's why we're asking you to faithfully continue your support.
Presbyterians have a strong tradition of putting their faith to action, but they also need to be encouraged to give financially to support that presbytery, because it enables us as a long heritage of reaching those who have no voice and have no way to meet those means themselves.
We're asking you to join hands with us, as many of you have. If you have been part of this work, thank you. If you haven't, you can't afford to miss out. Make a financial faith commitment so that what you have seen will continue to multiply. It's not just an investment in a mission or a ministry. It is truly an investment for eternity. I'm Gail Searins. For the Presbytery of Tampa Bay, thank you.